Hello, hello, hello. I'm sorry we was having some technical difficulties there. Dang, I had a couple people in there. I hope they'll had to stop it and delete that video. Start it back. There we go. I just stopped it and deleted the old one, and I'm glad you made it back in here. So I think I cut my Wi-Fi. I don't know why my Wi-Fi was running slow for some reason, but it was messing things up. So I started this back over. So I apologize. So I'm gonna have to start everything back over, introduction, everything. So how y'all doing? John Stewart on behalf of Lost Sheep Ministry, River Lake Baptist Church, started by River Lake Baptist Church. Here to bring y'all a lesson tonight. I'm sorry I'm talking a little fast because I'm already, my time is 15 minutes in, but I'm not 15 minutes video because I have to stop the other one. It'll make it on through here. And we can get this lesson in. It's some devil must be messing with me. It's been a long day and it's been a rough day. The devil been messing. We're gonna keep going forward and hopefully we'll be able to make it through this lesson. But y'all let me know if it's lagging real bad or y'all can't hear me or something like that. Something crazy is going on. I don't know what's going on with it. It's just kind of saying slow connection on it. So I apologize for that. Apologize for the inconvenience if it's messing anybody up. But again. Here to bring out a lesson out of 1 Samuel chapter 9. I'm going ahead and jump into it before it mess up anymore. We in 1 Samuel chapter 13. It's a lesson that we've been doing for the last few weeks, last 8 weeks. We've been doing a lesson overall. The overall lesson is called to be in the army of the Lord. And of course, we've been talking about, been giving you things that you need to know, pointers, mindsets we should have, and all things like that is associated with being in the army of the Lord. And the point that we covered last week was number 8. We covered last week was point number 8, but it's lesson number 7, point number 8, and it was called Defend the Truth. And I was just talking about how the state that we're in these days, the things that we're going through these days, all of them are the state of the world these days, the state of our kids, the state of our society is all because nobody is willing to defend the truth anymore. If you get into the church is supposed to be the main place that you can go to hear the truth, and that's not even the case anymore these days. So, so I was talking about how important it is for us to get back to defending the truth so we can get this. If we don't get back to defending this truth, the society is never going to get back to where it needs to be. So again, that was the lesson from last week. If you want to, if it sound interesting to you, I think it was, like I said, a really great lesson. Brought us some good truth. The Lord gave some good truths on that. I hope it was able to help y'all and bless y'all spirit with that lesson. And if you want to be blessed by it, go back and watch it. I got it downloaded on my YouTube page. It's already there. I posted on my YouTube page this weekend, and also you can just go back and scroll down a little bit and find it on my Facebook page as well. So again, I apologize about the technical difficulties. I already did my introduction on the other video, and I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into this before this phone completely mess up. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pray, and then I'm gonna jump into it, and we're gonna get this lesson started. Dear Lord and Father, thank you so much for watching over us. Thank you for blessing us and guiding us and giving us this opportunity to get into your word once again. I don't know what's going on with this internet connection with this phone today. Never seem to have a problem, and then all of a sudden I want to have a problem today when I'm trying to bring your word, Lord. And I know there's just the devil working on us, but I know you can help us get it through. So I'm praying that you help us make it through this lesson and let this internet be strong enough, or the signal be strong enough, so these people may be able to hear this word, this wisdom that you've given me to share with them here tonight. I pray you just continue to watch over us all. Thank you for letting us get the opportunity to be here. Thank you for letting us be living in a country where we can have this freedom to get into your word and discuss your principles and your gospel truths. And I thank you for just using me to bring this wisdom and these truths to your people, Lord. So now, Lord, I pray you watch over me as I go about the night. I got a little tickle going on my throat. I don't know what's going on with that as well. But I pray you help me be able to just give me the strength and do what I need to make it through that. I ask you send your spirit down upon my heart and my mind so I may bring these truths out to your people and they may receive these truths into their heart and use them for the edification of themselves and the others in their world. And I pray you also, Lord, that you send your spirit down upon their heart, help them be willing to receive it, that till up that hard, stony ground of their hearts, Lord, and let some seed be planted tonight so they may come into conviction and be willing to do this thing, this other command that you have for them that they need to do and they need to be willing to do if they're going to be in your army. Just let your spirit guide this session as always. Continue to bless us and guide us as always. And use this time here tonight as always to be productive for the building of your kingdom. We love you so very much. Thank you for all you've done and given. And say this prayer in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Hopefully Chris will find his way back in here. I lost him on the other video. But again, we're going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 13. We're going to be covering verses 11 through 14. It's the same section of verses we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. I told y'all that it was just 4 points. It was just like all the verses kind of meshed together. It was hard to pull the points out without kind of messing up what the verse was saying. So I read them all together, but I've been doing the points individually over the last few weeks. So this is going to be the last point from this section of verses, but not. But it's still it's just a lot of stuff in here, and this is a really good point tonight, or something I think that we all need. Definitely me. This is one for me. This is one for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be one for you. If you spend any time in the army of the Lord and any time on this earth, this is going to be something that you need to do that you probably haven't done, or you've done it when it was too late. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read the text verses, and then we're going to go and bring up this new point that we have for tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into this lesson. So remember, the situation is, Saul, he's getting ready to go up against the Philistines. The Philistines have mustered this huge army, and of course, Israelites, they have a little piece of an army. They definitely don't have nothing to go against this Philistine army that has come against them. Because at this point, I think in the Israelite army, I think they only have like 2 or 3 swords. They don't even have the weapons to fight, let alone the armor and things of that nature that they need to win this war. So they're afraid, which, rightfully so. They hadn't been serving the Lord for quite some time, so the Lord's grace is not on them. But the Lord, put a king over them to hopefully help the king will lead them back to them. And he's going to mess up. The first one will mess up, but the second one is going to get the job done. So they're in a situation, like I said, they got this army they're about to face. Samuel, which is the preacher, he told them, hey, go to this particular place. I'll be there in a few days, and we'll make a sacrifice to the Lord, and y'all will be able to win this war. Well, Samuel took a little longer. He must have been like me. He took a little longer than what he was supposed to. He ended up getting there late. So instead of Saul being obedient and just waiting for him, he decided he was going to take matters to his own hand. He got impatient and took matters to his own hand, and he ended up making a foolish decision. That was actually one of the other points that we had made out of this lesson was be patient. So he had made this foolish decision, and Samuel had to correct him on this foolish decision that he had made. So that's what we had there in this situation where he just did this dumb thing, made this foolish decision because he was impatient and he was afraid, and Samuel got on him. And that's what we kind of at the spot where as Samuel is getting on him about this dumb thing that he did. So in starting in verse 11, I'm just starting verse 10. It says, so just as Saul, so again, he went and made the sacrifice, which he wasn't supposed to do. If you know your Bible, you know the commands and how things are supposed to go. Only the Levites are supposed to make sacrifices to the Lord. And only the priests, the preachers, or the Levites. If the preachers, there are not enough preachers that Levites can do it, but it's supposed to be done by the priest. You know what I'm saying? A God's chosen person, which Saul wasn't. He wasn't a Levite or a priest, but yet he took upon himself to make a sacrifice. His heart was in the right place, but he did. The Lord likes obedience over sacrifice. So even though his heart was in the right place, he still did something that he knew he wasn't supposed to be doing, and he broke God's command. So because of that, the preacher came and the preacher got on him. So starting in verse 10, he says, just as Saul was finishing with the burnt offering, Samuel arrived. Saul went out to meet and welcome him. But Samuel said, what is this thing you have done? And Saul replied, I saw my men scattering from me, and you didn't arrive when you said you would. And the Philistines are at Michmash ready for the battle. So I said, the Philistines are ready to march against us, and I haven't even asked for the Lord's help. So I felt obliged to offer the burnt offering myself before you came. How foolish, Samuel exclaimed. You have disobeyed the command of the Lord your God. Had you obeyed, the Lord would have established your kingdom over Israel forever. But now your dynasty must end, for the Lord has sought out a man after his own heart. And the Lord has already chosen him to be king over his people, for you have not obeyed the Lord's command. So again, we went over 6, 7, 8. All those came out of this lesson. I'm not going to flip back through it because, like I said, this ain't my normal time, so I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. I'll try to keep it short. And I don't say that it never work out, but I am going to try to keep it short tonight. But I do want to bring this point. I'm not going to rush through it. I do want to bring this truth out. But I do want y'all to understand how important it is. Right. I feel you, bro. What up with you, man? I appreciate you being here, Duke. You my guy. I hope everything's going good over there in the Lou if you still up that way. So tonight's point is, so again, the verse that I want to focus on, that the point is going to come from tonight. Like I said, Saul, the sad thing about this, Saul's heart was in the right place. He had good intentions. He was trying to do the right thing, but he just did it the wrong way. And we all fall into that. So we see right here what it says in verse 17. He says, so I said the Philistines are ready to march against us, and I haven't even asked for the Lord's help. So tonight's point is this: ask for help. Ask for help. You know, as we all go through this journey of that we call life, you know what I'm saying, and we try to navigate this world, I don't care how smart you are, I don't care how wise you are, I don't care how young you are, I don't care how old you are, I don't care how broke you are, I don't care how paid you are. At some point in your life, you're going to need some help. There's some point in your life you're going to need some help. There you go. Wait till the video's over, man. Dang, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Gonna need some help. You can't make it through this world alone. You know what I'm saying? It might be a little bit of help. It might be a lot of help. But at some point in your life, you're going to need some help with something. No one can make it through this life on their own. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody tell you I made it on my own, I can make it on my own, I don't need nobody, they are liars. No, they're either liars or they're just stupid and ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need this help. Like I said, I don't care how much money in the bank you got. I don't care how break you out. I don't care, you know what I'm saying, you healthy or poor. I don't care. At some point in your life, you're going to need some help, and you got to be willing to ask for that help. You know, and this is doubly, or if not triply, true if you're a Christian and you're trying to be faithful in the Lord's army, which is what this whole lesson has been about. If you're going to serve the Lord, you're going to do God's work, and you're going to be in his army, that's doubly, triply true for you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way you're going to be able to fight this war and be effective in fighting this war if you don't have your main weapon, which is God's grace. Because that's where that help comes from. It's about God's grace that I'm able to bring these lessons to you guys. It's about God's grace that I'm able to work to provide for my family. It's about God's grace that I have the strength that I have to make it do the things that I do. All that is because of God's grace, and it's because of God's help that I'm able to do these things. Yes, I have skills, I have talents, I have strengths, but none of that stuff would get me to where I need to be. It wouldn't get me to where I am if I don't have God's grace to help me with those things, manage those things. You know what I'm saying? And I've been seeing a lot of casualties lately. You know what I'm saying? We talked about in the last lesson how the churches have become, instead of places of truth, they become more places of mistruth. You know what I'm saying? Or half truths. Or, you know what I'm saying? Everything is sugar coated and watered down. You know what I'm saying? And there's been, because of it, there's been more. I'm seeing a lot of casualties in God's army right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of casualties in God's army right now. I'm also seeing a lot of people that's just living life and just taking L's. You know what I'm saying? Right after left. Everybody's taking L's. Why? Why are we seeing so many casualties in God's army? Why are we seeing so many people that's living life and taking these L's? Because everybody refusing to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Everybody refused to have actual help. That's why I said this, the one bright spot of this little section I read was Saul. Yes, he messed up. Yes, you know what I'm saying? He did wrong. He wasn't supposed to be making that sacrifice because he was not a priest or a Levite. Yes, he did wrong. But like I said, the one bright spot is he was actually trying to do what he's supposed to be doing. He was asking God for help. You know what I'm saying? That's why he did the wrong. Like I said, yes, his heart was in the right place. His intention was right, but he went about the wrong way. But his heart was in the right place. And he was trying to do the right thing. And he said, look, man, I got this army coming up against me. I see this battle. There's no way I can win this battle. And you know what I'm saying? So why would I even start trying to fight this battle without even asking God for help? I haven't even asked God for help yet. And so his mindset was in the right place. He just, like I told y'all, I'm sorry. His mindset was in the right place, but he just went about the wrong way of doing it. So that's why I said that one would bring this part. Ask for help. Don't wait till it's too late. Ask for help. You know you got a problem. You got something going on. You got a situation in your life that need to be taken care of, a problem in your life, or some drama, some chaos, whatever. Ask some help to help others. Ask for some help with that problem. But see, the most of us, what we don't understand, most of the stuff we go through, most of the situations we end up in, most of the L's we take are unnecessary. We don't realize, man, there are so many unnecessary L's that we take There's so much unnecessary drama in our life, so many unnecessary trials and tribulation in our life because of the simple fact our pride won't allow us to ask for help. Maybe the person that can help us was somebody that we called everything but a child of God one day. You know what I'm saying? And now you got to go back, hand in your hand, ask for help. And instead of humbling yourself and doing so, you just, struggle on through unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? We got so many times our pride is destroying us. A lot of times it destroys us. It puts us in bad situations. It keeps us from getting out of bad situations because in fact we refuse to ask for help. We're too prideful to ask for help. And what does the Bible say about pride? Pride comes before destruction. So don't be so prideful. I was like that at one point. I was too prideful to ask for help. When I first, went off to college, I was paying my own bills and I had all my bills paid. I had, my apartment, my rent was always paid. It was food in my house, and I refused. Like, I don't care if I had to work, 100 hours in a day, and it ain't even 100 hours in a day. If I had to work 100 hours in a day to get it, to make something happen, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just asking for help. And I remember the first time where the Lord broke me down and put me in a position where there was nothing I could do other than ask for help. Whew, man, it was humbling. It was humbling. You know what I'm saying? If y'all remember from my testimony, if you're new and you haven't seen my testimony yet, sometime middle of February is coming up. I do it once a year right around the time I gave my life to the Lord. So that'll be coming up pretty soon, right in the middle of February. So if you haven't heard it yet, you haven't heard this. But if you have heard my testimony, you know what I'm talking about. Part of my testimony was, God pointing out to me that I had never asked him for help. When I had my little situation, my awakening or whatever you want to call it, with God, and God showed up and I can feel his presence. I had some questions for God. God, why is things like this? Why is my life so rough? Why did I go through this? Why did I go through that? Why am I working, selling drugs and working 2 or 3 jobs to provide for myself? And why, why is things going like this? Why does it feel like you don't love me? Why, I had all these questions for God. And you know what God asked me? He said, he said, yes, you're working, 2, 3 jobs, you're selling dope, doing work study, putting yourself to school. He said, but why are you doing all of it? He said, first of all, are you doing it for me? Or are you doing it for yourself to make yourself feel important? He said, let me ask you something. He said, when is the last time you ever asked? He said, you working all these jobs, hustling, doing all this stuff, killing yourself to put some money in the bank and gas in your car and all that. He said, but when is the last time you asked me for anything? You know what I'm saying? In other words, when is the last time you asked me for help? And when I really sat and thought about it, I had never really truly asked God for help. I've always tried to just get it on my own. I've always tried to just do it on my own. And that's why I was failing. I couldn't do it on my own. You know what I'm saying? We need God. We need God. We need help. We need God. Especially, like I said, especially if you're going to do his work. Especially if you're going to be a soldier in his army. You're going to need God. You're not going to be able to do this on your own. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to help. You don't have the strength. It's some battles that are going to come up that you just ain't going to have the strength or the ability or the talent to do it. You're going to have to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand what you're saying right there, Duke. I'll holler at you later on that. But you're going to have to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the Lord has showed me when I was out there hustling and I was doing all these things, trying to get money to provide for my family, whatever the excuse I was using to do it, you know what I'm saying? I was doing those things. I was killing myself. I was making these bad decisions because I just never simply asked him for help. I never asked God to help me. I was always trying to get it on my own. Now, don't get me wrong. You should try to do your part. Don't be laying around smoking weed and drinking all day and expecting your rent to get paid. You ain't get out there and go work. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and work. The Bible even says you got to work to eat. You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't be killing yourself to try to provide. You should be killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to make bad decisions and do things that you know you're not supposed to be doing to provide. You should ask the Lord for help. And see, that's what Saul did. He did something that he knew he wasn't supposed to be doing to try to survive, when really, at reality, he should ask for God for help. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to ask God for help. He just did it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, if you got something going on, a situation that you can't take care of, you know what I'm saying, there was problems. You know, I always had stuff come up in my life. I always had one thing after another. No, I can't tell how many times I've been in a situation where, I said, dang, man, when it rains, it pours. I've always had stuff come up. And after a while, I finally learned, after serving the Lord and getting into my Bible, I finally learned that it's some problems that's not meant for you to take care of. Some problems are what I call God. I call them GPs, God's problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, I call them God's problem. I tell, I do what I can. I do my part. You know what I'm saying? About his finances, I get up and take my butt to work every day. I got a job, make sure I kept a job. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I was there, you know what I'm saying, to clock in and to get my hours in. But when that paycheck come, if it ain't enough to take care of all this stuff that or whatever pops up, then, man, that's a God problem. I got to put it in God's hand. And I got to trust that, you know what I'm saying, that he is going to help me make it through. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. You got to understand that you're going to need help. Asking for help. And Lord, man, I went to work all week. I got my check. It ain't enough to take care of this, man. I'm going to need you to help me out. You know what I'm saying? That's your problem. That's a GP. I'm going to need you to do this for me. I'm going to need you to take care of this. I can't do it on my own. Ask for some help. See, because James talks about that. I was, like I said, that's why I would refuse to ask anybody for things. I'm going to get it on my own. I'm going to hustle on my own. I got myself out of Memphis, I can get myself through this situation. I'm going to get it on my own. I don't need no help. That was my attitude. And I went through so much trouble. I suffered so much. I had so little because I just refused to ask for help. And see, that's what James was talking about over in James chapter 4. He talked about that exact situation. And I wish I would have knew this then. I didn't know this then, but I know it now. But over in James chapter 4, verses 1 through 3, he talks about the situation that most of us are in. Watch this. He said, what is causing the quarrels and fights among you? Isn't it the whole army of evil desires at war within you? You want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. And what was I doing? Selling dope. You know what I'm saying? Working 1 million hours a week. You know what I'm saying? He said, isn't the whole army of evil desires, you want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. You are jealous for what others have, and you can't possess it, so you fight and quarrel to take it away from them. And yet, here you go. He said, why don't you have it? And yet, the reason you don't have what you want is that you don't ask God for it. Even when you do ask, you don't get it because your whole motive is wrong. You want only what would give you pleasure. See, that's the thing. That we said, and of course, if you probably heard this verse before. You heard the King James version. He said, and I like it better, but I just read it New Living Translation because that's what I do my lessons out of. But in King James version, the way he put it, you probably heard this before. He said, you have not because you ask not. You know what I'm saying? He said, you ask not. He said, you lust and have not. You kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. You fight in war, yet ye have not because you ask not. And that's a lot of time. That's why we don't have the help that we need, because we didn't ask for the help. That's why we don't have those finances we need, because we didn't ask God for it. Or we asked God for it, but because we wanted to buy another boat or buy another motorcycle or buy a nicer car, and it wasn't to build his kingdom. See, you have not because you ask not. God is willing to help. God is willing to help. God wants to help you, but he's not going to force himself on you. It's just like with the gospel. I tell people all the time when I go and they say they're unsaved, hey, would you allow me to share this gospel with you? I always ask them. I don't tell them, hey, I'm about to share this gospel with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't force it on them. I ask them, hey, would you mind if I share this gospel to you? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to make that, decision. You got to make that decision that you're going to let him do it. He's not going to force himself on you. It's the same with his help. Yes, he knows what you need. You know what I'm saying, Mrs. Alicia? He knows you need that vehicle. Duke, I know you said you need help. I don't know if you just playing, but you know what I'm saying? He knows what you need. He knows you need before you even ask him, but he still wants you to ask him for it. He's not going to force it on you. Well, I know she need this. Let me go and give it to her. No, because if he just always gave you what you need, then guess what? You would never come to him because he's giving you everything. What's the point of going to him? He wants you to come in. He knows what you need, but he wants you to ask him for it. And he's willing to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to ask him for it. And see what I'm saying? And a majority of things we desire, a majority of the problems we deal with can easily be done away with if we just ask the Lord for it. Ain't that crazy? I mean, it's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is ask the Lord for it, and he would help you take care of those things. Now, it ain't gonna always happen right when you want it to happen. It ain't gonna always happen the way you want it to happen. It ain't gonna always happen when you want it to happen. But if you put your faith and trust in the Lord, you ask Him to help you with this situation, He will take care of that thing in His time. It's all about His timing. You know what I'm saying? Jesus talked about that over in the book of Luke. Over the book of Luke chapter 11, verses 9 through 13. This is another famous one that you've probably heard before, but I'm going to read it out of the New Living Translation. It sounds a little different, but this is Jesus talking. He said in verse 9, the Lord tells us this. He said, and so I tell you, keep on asking, and you will be given what you ask for. Keep on looking, and you will find. Keep on knocking, and the door will be open. For everyone who asks receives, and everyone who seeks finds, and the door is open to everyone who knocks. You fathers, if your children ask for a fish, do you give him a snake instead? Or if they ask for an egg, do you give them a scorpion? Of course not. If you sinful people know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to those who ask Him? See, that's what He's saying. You ask me for it. If you need it, you know what I'm saying? You need it and you're going to use it the right way, ask me for it. I give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Ask me for it. So see, all we got to do is ask. All these problems that we're going through, all these struggles that we're going through, all these needs that we have, and we whine about it, we complain about it, we'll tell our friends about it, we'll post on Facebook about it, but we want to go to God and just ask Him for it. Ask Him to provide it for us. You know what I'm saying? And if He ain't giving it to you, maybe it might not be as crucial as you think. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always a bad thing that He don't give you. It's a lot of things that I used to ask for. It's a lot of things that I prayed for that I look back on my life now, and I'm glad that God to give it to me. Most of it, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, most of it was booty. It was booty from so particular girls. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm keeping it 100. It was booty, but I'm glad He give it. There's so many of these girls that I look at them now like, oh my gosh, they look horrible, or their lives are horrible. They got 3 or 4 baby daddies, you know what I'm saying, and 8 kids. Yeah, it's just, and I'm like, that could have been me. I could have been in that relation. I remember praying to God and asking me for, asking God for that. But see, like James said, if you want something for your pleasure, He's not gonna give you that. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna give you that. So not only do you have to ask. That's the thing about it. Yes, if you ask, Jesus said, if you ask, you're going to receive. You know what I'm saying? Keep asking. You know what I'm saying? If you've been asking for it, keep asking for it. If it's something that's going to benefit more people than you, if it's something that especially if it's going to benefit the kingdom of the Lord, you will get it eventually. You see what I'm saying? You will get it eventually. But, you know what I'm saying, keep asking for it. If you ask for it, you will receive it. See, but the thing is, here's the thing. Like I said, you can't be asking for it. You got to have the right reason behind it. You can't just, like I said, you can't be asking for it because you want to please yourself. It can't be some selfish stuff that you want to make yourself look better. You want to make yourself feel better. You know what I'm saying? You ask God, let me get this 6-pack of abs so I can be out here flying, walking around with my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to give you stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He can't use it can't be for your own personal gain or selfish reason. If you ask for something, it's got to be something that's going to be of benefit others. You know what I'm saying? Not only yourself. Now, that don't mean you can't benefit from it. Don't get me wrong. No, that don't mean you can't benefit from it. But it shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, just for the sole purpose of your pleasure or to benefit yourself, like what James said. You know what I'm saying? What did James said? He said, even when you do ask, and even when you do ask, you don't get it because the whole motive is wrong. You want only what will give you pleasure. So your motive behind the asking, you know what I'm saying, what Jesus is saying, yeah, He's saying ask, but you got to ask the right way. You see what I'm saying? You get the motive behind her asking have to be correct. So it got to be something, like I said, something, yes, you can benefit from it, but it got to be something somebody else is going to benefit from as well. And if you really want it to be to be granted, you really want to receive it, man, make sure you're asking for something that's going to help build His kingdom. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to deny you. You know what I'm saying? If you doing God's work, if you in His army, you work for Him. And there's not going to be one employer that know you need a tool to do your job better. If I give you this tool, it's going to help you do your job better, and I'm not going to give you this tool. What kind of business? That's not a way to run a business. You see what I'm saying? That's not it's not going to be a successful business. Let's say that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to equip your people with what they need to get the job done. And the same for you. So if you get out here and you're trying to do your best to provide for your family, and you're trying to do your best to do God's work, and you ask for something, if your motive is right, your heart is in the right place, you're going to get that thing. Like I said, it might not be when you want it, but you will get it if the Lord feels that's what you really need to get you provide for your family and to get that work done. You know what I'm saying? It can't be your selfish desires. You know what I'm saying? It got to be something, like I said, that's going to benefit. You can benefit from it, yes, but the main reason should be to benefit others or to benefit God's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I remember when my first son, well, my second son was born. He was born premature, and he had so he was born like 3 months early. So he was only like 6 months when he was born. So he was born. He was like 1 pound 12 ounces. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up spending the first 3 months of his life was in the incubator in the hospital in the NICU. You know what I'm saying? The first 3 months he spent in the NICU because he was born so early. You know, he couldn't breathe on his own. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't eat on his own. Like, I mean, it was rough, man. This was my first son. And I never forget, you know, he had been in NICU for 3 months. And all I wanted to do was take my son home. You know, I prayed for him and everything. Then finally, I got the opportunity to take my son home. And I was so ecstatic about it. And we took him home, had one night with him. And the very next day, we was on our way. This is when I was super broke. I'm broke now, but I was super broke then. And we was on our way down to the WIC office. I'll never forget it. We was on our way down to the WIC office down there in Nashville. On my way down to the WIC office. And we got there, and because, like I said, because he was born early, he couldn't eat correctly, and like it took a long time to burp him. But you had to make sure you burped him because he couldn't burp on his own. Like, I mean, most babies can't, but like with him, it was really crucial. And I never forget about it. While we were sitting in the WIC office, they had to sit down there for forever, so his feeding time came up. So my wife's like, well, we're going to have to go ahead and feed him. We can't wait, you know, because we was on the schedule with him. And so she started feeding him. And of course, right as we get to feeding him, they call us back. So we didn't get to finish the process. Like right as we finished up feeding, they call us back. So like I said, it takes a long time for them to burp. And we didn't get to finish the process up like we were supposed to. So we went on back, got everything done. He seemed to be fine. Got back in the car, was heading home. Now we stayed about maybe 4 or 5 miles. We was down there in like Nashville, like the Charlotte area. And we stayed over by DB Todd. So it wasn't far, maybe 5-10 minute drive, depending on the traffic. Probably longer than now. But anyway, so we was on our way home. And we, like I said, we didn't get the burping correctly. We was on our way home. And we heard like a, like almost like he threw up or something. And my wife, she was my baby mom at the time. She hears like, oh, I think he just threw up on himself. Cause like I said, if you don't burp him right, it messes him up. So she's like, oh, I think he just threw up on himself. So I'm like, well, you want me to pull over? She said, no, you know, we just clean him up when we get to the house. But then that maternal instinct kicked in. She's like, you know what? Go ahead and pull over. Let me just check. So I'm sitting there, I'll never forget, and she just started screaming. So I'm like, what is going on? So I jump out the car, because he was over on the passenger side behind her. So I jump out the car and I go over there, and man, my son he was really dead. Like, I mean, he was purple. He was purple, and his body was like, if you pick up a wet thing of a cooked spaghetti noodle, that's how his body was. I mean, it was no life in him at all. It wasn't he was dead. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened, this is so how God works, just so happened the semester before this happened, because I was on I think I was on the fall semester. Because, he was born in June. Yeah. So, and for the spring semester, I was just getting ready to start the fall semester. But for the spring semester, I had took a CPR class. So, you know what I'm saying? So she's freaking out. Like I said, he was dead. His skin was like, it was purple and gray. Like there was no life in him at all. So she's freaking out, and it just hit me like, you know what I'm saying? I put his ear to it, and he wasn't breathing. So I'm like, oh, what am I do? And I'm like, all right, let me do CPR. So like, I just happened to take a CPR class. So I, you know what I'm saying, did it. He was tiny. So I had to use the 2 fingers, and I pushed in, blew some breaths, nothing. So I did again, push in, blew some breath, nothing. And I'm like, man, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I can't lose. I just got this dude. Like, he's only been out of the hospital 1 day. I can't lose my son. I'll never forget, I asked for help. In that moment, I asked for help, and I'll never forget it, y'all. I remember clear as day. This happened almost 20-some years ago, and I remember clear as day. I remember looking up at the sky, and I'm like, Lord, please do not take my son. This is my first natural-born son, the other son, my stepson. I said, this is my first biological son, man. I haven't even had my day. Please don't take him away from me. And right when I pray, when I prayed that prayer, a thought popped into my head for my CPR class. And I remember one day my teacher was talking about when you do CPR on babies, he said, a lot of times, with adults, you just kind of tip their head back a little bit. He said, but with babies, their throat's not as strong, their esophagus is not as strong or whatever. So a lot of times you have to really let their head hang. You have to really push their head back far. So right when he said that, I kind of had his head palmed in my hand like this, and his head was kind of in my hand. But right when that thought popped in my head, I just kind of put him down a little bit to where his head was hanging over my fingers. And when I did that, I blew a breath in his lung, and he went, huh. And then I blew another breath in his lung, y'all, and he said, and he started about breathing, and his color came back to him. So, of course, we rushed right back to the hospital, and he had to spend another 3 weeks in the hospital before he was able to come home. You know what I'm saying? But the thing was, I asked for help. And to this, and how did that benefit? First, that benefit me. It led me from the trauma of losing my first kid. Not only that, my girl, I don't know if our relationship would have survived losing the kids just like that. You know what I'm saying? Plus, then he's one of the smartest dudes I know. And he's, out of all my kids, he's the one that's closer to me as far as ministry wise. He loves going soul winning, and he's already led at least 4 or 5 people to the Lord from soul winning. So see, when I asked the Lord for that help, not only did it benefit me, it benefited my son because I was able to save his life, and it also benefit God's kingdom because now he's a soul winner. So you see what I'm saying? Your request got to be, when you have a request and it's not for your personal gain, it's for others, the Lord will grant the request. And I never forget this to this day. And you know what the weird part or the crazy part about that is, y'all? The place that we pulled into, it was just an empty parking lot. And after that happened, a little bit after that happened, somebody ended up buying that building and renovating it and turned it into, and guess what it ended up being? It was the building in Nashville for Planned Parenthood. So the place where people normally go to get abortions, to take care of life, is the place where my son's life was saved, all because I asked the Lord for help. So you see, you got to ask for help. I didn't know what to do in that situation. I didn't know, but when I asked the Lord for help, he reminded me, oh, no, just do this thing. And like I said, y'all, to this day, we do not know how long he wasn't breathing. I kid you not, we don't know how long he wasn't breathing. All we know, it was long enough for him to tell he had this pale gray purple look. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, his body was lifeless. There was nothing in his body. There was nothing. His body was lifeless. And we don't know how long he was like that. We don't know it from the moment we got in the car or what. But all I know is I asked the Lord for help and he saved my son. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, there's other examples, of great Bible men that asked for help and they got what they needed because they asked for help. There was a situation with Nehemiah, which is one of the servants of God. He was one of the leaders of Israel. It was after the Lord had, they went into the captivity, and the Lord said they're going to be in captivity for 70 years and they're going to be sent back. So this is, some of the people was, of course, still in captivity or whatnot. They had, grew and had lives in Babylon, grew up and had lives in Babylon, even working for the king kind of thing. And then some went back. So, but of course, when they went back, the land was destroyed, the gates was burned down, the temple was burned down, because when Nebuchadnezzar come through, so it was in bad shape. So there was this one guy by the name of Nehemiah. He was one of the leaders in Israel. He was like the king's cupbearer or something like that. So when he got word of how bad the shape was, he got a conviction about it. And he wanted to go back home to do something to help build the kingdom of God. So one day he goes into the king and he's just sad. You know what I'm saying? He's just sad. And the king could tell he was sad. And the king was just like, man, what's going on? And he and he was nervous because he said he had never been, and you can go back and read Nehemiah, the first chapter in Nehemiah, and he was nervous because the king had never seen him sad before. So he didn't know what the king was going to do, So the king asked him, why are you so sad? He's like, well, and he basically told him, like, man, he said he prayed. He said a quick prayer to the Lord. It wasn't no old Father God, got on the knee. He just said a quick prayer to the Lord, asked the Lord for help. Help me, give my petition to this king, so to speak. He said a quick prayer, and then, he told the king, like, man, I'm in a bad position. I'm so sad because of the land, the way my land is, what my people are going through. Why the land? Like, yes, you gave us the permission to go back, but it's bad over there. And I really want to go home and rebuild the walls so that the people will be protected and we can start. Cause they can't build a temple of God until they get the walls built. Cause there ain't no point in building a temple because all people got to do is come in and raid it and tear it down again. You know what I'm saying? So they needed the walls up before they can really rebuild Jerusalem like they wanted to. So, you know what I'm saying? So he said this quick prayer, told to the king, and get what the king said. Man, go ahead. Take whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need, the people, however many people you need, whatever finance you need. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you this letter so people won't mess with you on the way back, but just take what you need, go home and do what you need to do. You see what I'm saying? Why? because he has a burden for the land of the Lord, and he had a burden for God's people. And because he had this burden for God's land and God's people, you know what I'm saying, he asked the Lord for help, and the Lord helped him. And he asked this king for the petition this king to give him these things, these materials, and this time off, because he had to ask for time off too. You know what I'm saying? He's the king cupbearer. You know, back then you had to drink before the king drunk, just in case it was a poisoner. You know, basically put your life on the line. You know what I'm saying? But he had to ask the king to let him take off for a few days. So, for a little while, it was actually a few months. I think it was almost a year that he had to take off to be able to travel, get the time to travel, go back and build a wall and get back. You know what I'm saying? But he asked the Lord for help, and the Lord gave him help. He touched the king's heart, and the king granted his request, and he was able to go back and build a wall. See, he asked for help. That was a monumental task he had to do. That was a monumental thing he had to do. That was a, you know what I'm saying, scary thing he had to do, because he had to go to the king, but he asked God for help. You know what I'm saying? Another situation, Elijah. You know, one of my favorite stories, y'all remember when Elijah was on Mount Carmel. You know what I'm saying? You remember when he was on Mount Carmel, and he had the contest where it was like all the prophets, Jezebel had killed all the prophets of Baal. All the Lord's prophets, and Elijah was like the only one left. And Baal had like 400 or something, and they had this contest. And I'm not going to go through all that. I did a lesson on that before. But you remember, you know what I'm saying, the basic contest was they both was going to make a sacrifice. You know, Elijah took the Lord's altar, which they had broke down, took the bricks from it, basically dusted them off and rebuilt the Lord's altar. And then the other men, the prophets of Baal, they built their own altar. And the challenge was, you know, cut up your sacrifice, you know, put it on the altar, put the wood, put the sacrifice on the altar, but you don't set fire to it. You know what I'm saying? Ask your God to send down fire, and whoever fire that comes, whichever God sends down fire, that's the real God. So of course the prophets of Baal went first, and you know what I'm saying, it was 400 and some of them, and they cut themselves all day and jumped around and all that, and nothing happened. So then by the time the evening came around, it was time for the evening sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Elijah was like, look, y'all get out of the way. I'll let y'all do y'all thing. Let me do my thing. So, you know what I'm saying? So not only did he rebuild the Lord's altar, put the wood on there, cut up the sacrifice and put it on the altar. Not only after he did that, he poured water on the altar. And it says he poured like he said he made a trench around the altar and then poured 3 big buckets of water on top of her. Now, he already ain't put no fire on there, but then he gonna wet it as well. You know how hard it is to burn start a fire with wet wood? It's impossible to start a fire from wet wood. You know what I'm saying? But he did that, and did what he do. When he got through doing that, he built the altar, put the sacrifice on there, put the water on the altar, on the sacrifice, built a trench around it. Said that it was so much water that the trench filled up with water and overflowed. After he did all that, what did he do? He asked the Lord for help. He went to God. He said, Lord, please help me show these people that there is a God in Israel and that you are the only true God. And please help me show them that by sending this fire down and burning this sacrifice. And what happened? The Lord helped them. And it said the Lord, if you again read the story, one of my favorite stories, it said the Lord sent the fire down, and not only did it burn up the sacrifice, it burnt the wood, it burnt the bricks, the rocks that he had put together to make the altar. It burnt up all water, and it said it licked up all the water in the trench, left a dry, burnt spot. You know what I'm saying? And why did he do that? Because he wasn't doing that to glorify himself, to make it seem like he was some awesome prophet dude. He did it for the glory of God. He asked God, give me this thing. Give me this thing so these people know, if you send me this blessing right now, these people are going to know for sure that you are the one true God. And what happened? He asked the Lord for help, and the Lord helped him. See, that's why we can do these mighty things in our life. We can get these problems out of our lives. We can get all these situations in our life taken care of if we just humble ourselves and be willing to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? One more, another. David, when he was going to fight Goliath. You know what I'm saying? When you know what I'm saying? Now, you don't see David's prayer when he go to fight Goliath, but you can tell that he prayed and asked God for help, because when he went and confronted Goliath, because Goliath saw David coming, and he like, who is you? This little ruddy-faced boy? You think you finna come and challenge me? You know what I'm saying? You think you finna come and win? Man, I'm a giant. I'm Goliath. You think you're gonna do something for me? And what did David say? You come to me with spear and armor and javelin and all these things. He said, but I'm coming with you in the power of the Lord. So this shows you that he asked before he went over. You think he just walked up to Goliath like, man, I'm finna go handle this dude. Man, I killed a lion and a bear before, so this dude ain't nothing. No, I guarantee he was praying the whole way up there. Lord, I need you. I need your strength. I need your strength. I need you to be with me. I need your help so I can accomplish this mighty thing. And the Lord helped him. You know what I'm saying? So again, you got to see how important it is. Stop trying to take care of all these problems on your own. Stop trying to walk on your own with all these burdens. Let the Lord wants to take these burdens off of you, but he can't do it unless you let him. Again, I told y'all, that's our gift and our curse, that we have free will. The Lord is not going to impose his help on you. He's not going to impose his love on you. He's not going to impose his grace on you. He's not going to impose his salvation on you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give it to you. Now, if you ask him for it, he'll give it to you, but he's not going to impose on. He's not going to force you to have it. And that's our gift, our curse, because of our pride. A lot of times, it keeps us from just doing something simple as asking for the help. You know what I'm saying? When we look at this story of Saul, the reason why we're going over Saul, we look at this story of Saul, which we've been going through. If you look back a few chapters in chapter 9, watch what happened here in chapter 9. Saul asked for help. So Saul was in a situation where his daddy had lost his donkeys. And they told Saul, his daddy gave Saul the commandment to go find his donkeys, and which he did. So if you read verse 3-6, we see what Saul did. What he was saying. He said, one day Kish donkeys strayed away, and he told Saul, take a servant with you and go look for them. So Saul took one of his servants and traveled all through the hill country of Ephraim, the land of Cilicia, the Salem area, the entire land of Benjamin, but they couldn't find the donkeys anywhere. Finally, they entered the region of Zuph, and Saul said to his servant, let's go home. By now, my father would be more worried about us than about the donkeys. So they was in a situation, needed some help. His daddy told him to go find the donkeys. He couldn't find the donkeys. They didn't search all over for probably days, 2 or 3. I think it said 2 or 3 days they was gone looking for these donkeys. Couldn't find these donkeys. Needed some help. So what did he do? So the guy that was with him said, the servant said, I have just thought of something. There is a man of God who lives here in this town. He is held in high honor by all the people because everything he says come true. Let's go find him. Perhaps he can tell us which way to go. In other words, let's go and find him and see if he'll give us some help. And that's what he did. He went looking for some help. And then we go over, if you go down to verse 11, 12, you'll see where he asked for help. In verse 11, they went looking for the man of God and they need some help find him. In verse 11, he says, as they were climbing a hill toward the town, they met some young women coming out to draw water. So Saul and his servant asked, is the seer here today? Yes, they replied. Stay right on this road. He is at the town gate. He has just arrived to take part in a public sacrifice up on the hill. Hurry and catch him before he goes up the hill to eat. The guests won't start until he arrives to bless the food. So see what they do. They needed some help. They needed directions. You know what I'm saying? That's hard. Us men, we don't like the actual direction. We end up in Boone, Egypt. I can't say the other word. I'm preaching. You know what I'm saying? We end up on the other side of Tennessee before we ask for some help and ask for some direction. But they knew they needed help. They knew they needed some direction. They knew they needed a direction to go. So what they do, they asked these young ladies for help. And the young lady told them, hey, yep, he's here. And they not only tell them where to go, they told, hey, you need to hurry up and get there. He's on his way up the hill to do this sacrifice. You need to get there beforehand so you can catch him. You know what I'm saying? They need some help. And then we go down a few more verses in verses 18 and 19. He needed some more help. So it says, in verse 17, actually said, when Samuel noticed Saul, the Lord said, that's the man I told you about. He will rule my people. And just then Saul approached Samuel at the gateway and asked, can you please tell me where the seer's house is? And then verse 19 said, I am the seer, Samuel replied. So he needed some help. He didn't mind helping. And you know what I'm saying? So you see, it was all about God's timing. You know what I'm saying? It was all about God's timing. Because you think about it, because the donkey strayed away, his dad gave him command to go find the donkeys. And because he was being obedient to his father's will, he was in the will of God. Because he was in his father's will, he was doing exactly what his father told him to do. And because he was doing what his father was going to do, he came across the right people and asked the right questions. And even though he went out to look for some donkeys, to find some donkeys, he didn't find the donkeys, but what did he end up finding? He found the kingdom. He ended up being anointed as the first king of Israel. See what I'm saying? Why? Because he asked for help. Came across the right people and asked the right questions and got the help he needed. And he ended up, and then turns out, even though he didn't find the donkeys were found. He got back home and turns out the donkeys were found. So see, he ended up happened upon a kingdom All because he was willing to ask for help. And again, we struggle. We have so many problems in our lives. We have so much trouble in our lives. We have so much unnecessary drama in our lives, or unnecessary tribulation in our lives. They come in our lives, yes, they come in our lives, but they can be solved if we just be willing to humble ourselves and ask for help. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be in the Lord's army, you know what I'm saying, and you're going to be serving faithfully, you're going to have to understand, you're going to have to ask for help. You're going to be willing. You got to humble yourself. You got to be willing to ask for help. It's funny that we're doing, I put this lesson together, and right literally after I put this lesson together, I had to apply it to myself. There's been twice today I had to ask for help. I had a situation going on between my wife and my brother, a disciplinary situation. I felt she maybe being a little too harsh, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know her perspective on it. You know, I'm not the one that's watching them, being around them all day. So I need some help on, like, should I override what she was saying or what? So I need some help. So I called my cousin, and man, he straightened me out. You know what I'm saying? He brought it. Matter of fact, I only got like a couple of minutes to explain the situation, and he started, says, let me stop you right there. He said, I already got something for you. And man, it was straight from God, y'all. Cause man, he told me exactly what I need. Matter of fact, he was able to even tell the way she was feeling and the things she was thinking, and he hadn't even talked to her. Just off the little bit that I told him. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, thank you. We ended up talking like an hour. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, thank you so much for that. I really needed that. And he gave me a whole different perspective on how to look at the situation that I believe not only is going to help the situation, but it might even help my marriage. He showed me it was something that I wasn't doing. I had to own myself and realize that I wasn't being the husband that I was supposed to be. I wasn't being the supportive husband that I was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So I needed that. You know what I'm saying? There was a situation with mine. I had to go get on the way, right before I called him, I had to go get my truck out the shop. And you know what I'm saying? And I thought, it had some little leaking oil. Didn't think it would cost that much. Being $600. You know what I'm saying? More than I had hoped to spend. And I just paid my rent, which is like $1,400. So I was like, man, I'm hurting. Had to ask for some help. You know what I'm saying? And I had to humble myself and ask for the help. And then when I received the help, like when my cousin was giving me this wisdom and showing me that I was the one in the wrong and I was looking at it the wrong way, I had to accept it. I asked for the help, and then when the help came, I had to accept it. You know what I'm saying? He got me straight. So you got to ask for help. You're going to be in God's army, you're going to have to ask for help. If you're going to be in this life, you're going to have to ask for help. You're not even saved and you watch the video, you're going to need some help at some point. You know what I'm saying? You definitely need some help hearing the gospel of the Lord. But you definitely going to need some help in your life. And we got to understand we can't be too prideful for that. That's why God put people here. We are social creatures. We are here for each other. There's a verse, and I should have looked it up, but he said a brother is there's a purpose of a brother. It's something, and I'm misquoting. It's over in Proverbs, but misquoting it. But it says it says something to the effect of a brother is put here on this earth. You have brothers for your time of need. You know what I'm saying? And since we all children of God, we're all brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be difficulties in your life. There's going to be problems in your life. There's going to be things you're going to have to face in your life. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be able to face them alone. So humble yourself and be willing to ask for help. Because there's so many things that you're going to face. If there's so many trials and tribulations, there's so many bumps in the roads, there's so many roadblocks or whatever that's going to pop. If you're going to serve God, there's so many things that you're going to have to face. There's so many things you're going to deal with if you're going to serve the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to be able to do it on your own. So be humble and be willing to ask for help. You know what I'm saying? If you, like, for instance, if you're watching this video and you're not 100% sure that when you die, you're going to go through the door called, when you go through that door called death, that you're going to get to see Jesus on the other side, ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to save your soul or give you the confidence in the security of your salvation. There's a lot of people that has asked the Lord to save them, and they're still not sure. They're still not sure if they're going to heaven or not. Ask for help. Ask Lord, either Lord save you, not saved, Lord save me, save my soul, send somebody by to share your gospel with me. Or if you're already saved, you've already made a decision, but you're just unsure, you're not securing your salvation, ask for help. Lord, guide me to the verses that I need in your word to show that I am securing my salvation, that once I'm saved, if I'm truly saved, I'm always saved. Show me the verses, or send the person by to give me that confidence. Ask for help. You don't have to figure this out on your own. You know what I'm saying? You go over to Luke chapter 18, verses 18 through 27. I'm giving y'all some verses with these little scenarios. I got a few scenarios that you need to ask for help for. I'm going to give you the verses to go read them. I didn't want to read the verses because it won't take me too long, but I'm going to give you the verses as references, and you go look up for yourself. But when you're dealing with salvation, You're not sure about your salvation. Like I said, you're not sure when you go to the door called death, you can see the Lord on the other side. Ask for help. Ask the Lord, Lord, send somebody my way to share your gospel with me, or send somebody my way to help me be secure in my salvation, so I can know for sure that when I die, when I go through the door called death, I see you on the other side. So if you're not 100% sure that when you go through the door called death, you're going to get to see Jesus on the other side, ask for help. Don't sit there and just die in your sins and go to hell because in fact you was too prideful to ask somebody to share the gospel with you. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. You know, another one. If you are saved, but you feel like something might be blocking your blessings, ask for help. You know what I'm saying? I've had a guy. I've talked to him about a couple of times. Matter of fact, I talked to him about him last time, and he called. But guy been in Houston. You know what I'm saying? He was saved. Talking to him, he was saved, but the whole thing that started, we ended up talking for like 2-3 hours, and the whole thing that started our conversation was he was saying like, man, I'm saved. And I remember, I used to be real big, real close to God. I used to pray all the time. And I remember him answering those prayers. He said, but now I just don't feel like I'm close to him as I was. I don't feel like, when I'm praying, I pray that he's not answering my prayers. I don't feel, I don't feel his presence like I used to. And that started our conversation. You know what I'm saying? So if you that kind of person, you're saved, but something's blocking your blessing, you don't have that closeness to the Lord like you used to, guess what? Ask for help. Ask for help. Maybe it's some stuff that you're doing that you're not supposed to be doing. Because like the guy said, I used to pray all the time, but I don't pray no more. Well, guess what? That's one of your problems right there. You're not praying. You're not asking like Jesus said. Jesus said, keep asking. He didn't say ask one and then it don't happen, just forget about it. He said keep asking. He said, you asking for something, you haven't got it yet, keep asking. And he said, if you ask, you'll receive. So if you feel like you got something blocking your blessings, ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you if there's any iniquities that you may have in your life that's keeping him from you. Or if there's anything that you're doing, or if there's anything that you're saying, or any way that you're thinking that might be keeping your blessings from you. Ask the Lord to show you those things. But be prepared when you ask him to show you, be prepared to leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? When you come on a conviction about him, be prepared to listen to him when he show you what it is that's keeping you, what are the iniquities that you have in your heart that's keeping you from him. But don't be afraid to ask him. You really want to get those blessings, give him back to having that close relationship with him. You know what I'm saying? Ask the Lord. Lord, am I doing something that's keeping me from you? If I'm doing something that's blocking my blessings, if I am, please show me. You know what I'm saying? Ask the Lord to show you your iniquities. You know what I'm saying? We see that was done over in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 16 through 19. You know what I'm saying? That's the chapter we went over the other one. And since it's right there, I'm not going to go back through it. Because like I said, if I read all these verses I got, we'll be here all night. And I want to keep it short because like I said, this ain't my normal night. But actually, listen, look at 1 Samuel 12, chapter 16 and 19. You see the same kind of situation where he asked the Lord, hey, show me my iniquities. Show me what I'm doing wrong so I can get your blessings on me. So again, ask for help. You know what I'm saying? A very important part, this is another one. A very important part of being a Christian, especially if you're going to be an effective Christian. If you're going to be in the Lord's army, truly be in the Lord's army like we've been talking about, a very important part of being able to do that is being able to surround yourself with the right people. I cannot stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? Outside of reading, the 3 things I tell y'all all the time: read your Bible every day, pray every day, look for opportunity to tell people about God every day. Outside of those 3 things, something just as important is making sure that you got the right people around you. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to be effective if you don't have the right people around you. So if you have a hard time figuring out who is the right people around you, if you have a hard time figuring out which preacher you should really be listening to and which ones you need to ignore, if you have a hard time figuring out who should be in who you should allow in your world and in your heart, who you should not, guess what? Ask for help. If you got a problem figuring this thing out, ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you ask the Lord to show you. Ask the Lord to keep ask the Lord to keep the wrong people out of your life and the right ones in your life. That's something I pray for all the time. I even pray that for my family, my kids, especially with my kids, because I know their friends in this world has a great influence on them. So I'm always asking them, Lord, please give them the discretion to make the right decision about who they spend their time with and what they spend their time doing. Please make sure the right people are in their life and the wrong people are not. And we should be doing the same thing as Christians. Lord, I want to be an effective soldier for you. I want to do the work you have me to do. I want to, serve your purpose and your will in my life the way you want me to. And I know I can't do it with the wrong people in my life. Lord, please show me the right people. Please make sure the right people are in my life and the wrong people are not. Ask for help. Don't just sit there and keep on hanging with these people that ain't doing nothing but dragging you down and holding you back, blocking your blessings. That might be why you're blocking your blessings as well. You got the wrong people around you. God ain't gonna bless you, because if He bless you, you're gonna bless them. And they don't need to be blessed, because they're not on doing what the things that God wants them to be doing. So ask. If you find yourself in this situation, you want to make sure you got the right people around you and the wrong people are not around you, ask for help. Ask for help. Another situation, you know what I'm saying? If you're having difficulty deciding what efforts you need to devote your time and energy to, you know what I'm saying? You know, every cause does not deserve your time and energy. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, and especially again, if you're gonna be in the honor of the Lord, you really got to have great time. And I know a lot of people think that I have poor time management because I'm always late. When in reality, I have great time management. That's why I'm always late, because a lot of stuff I'm late for, like, I just don't feel necessary to be there for that. I can spend that time doing something more important. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Everything, like, that's why I don't get into politics. Yes, I understand the significance of them. I understand the importance of them, but I don't think they're more important than the Word of God. I don't put the time and energy, like the whole the Black Lives Matter things and the transgender thing. Yes, I preach against them, but I don't spend no time. I'm not going out there picketing, you know what I'm saying, transgender clinics or none of this stuff. I'm not doing that. I ain't got the energy, the time and energy for that. It's not worth my effort. When the whole Black Lives Matter thing, you know, yes, I understand the police brutality and all that stuff, but I'm not out there protesting and holding up traffic and all that stuff. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't worth my energy. There's more important things going on in this world. There are people that's in this world that's dying and going to hell simply because somebody didn't put the time and energy into coming by and telling them the gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, by the grace of God, I've led almost 600 people to the Lord, and the majority of them people just never heard the gospel. It wasn't that they didn't want to get saved. Now, some of them, they didn't want to get saved. They had their bad relationship, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there's a good percentage of them there. I'd say maybe 15, 20%. But a majority of people, 80% of the people that I come across, I share the gospel with to get saved, is because they just never heard the gospel. Nobody never took time, like I said, put the time and energy into sharing the gospel with them. So if you trying to figure out, hey, you know, is this thing here worth my efforts? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you if the cause is worth fighting for. Ask him to show you if the cause is worth fighting for. That happened with David over in 1 Samuel chapter 23, verses 1 through 5. There was a situation where he was in this town, and this is when Saul was chasing him, trying to kill him, and he was in this town, and he had did all this, you know what I'm saying, protected these people from everybody else, and he knew Saul was coming, and I think I got that right. And no, it was Saul coming, it was some people coming to capture him for Saul, if I'm not mistaken. But however the situation was, you know what I'm saying, he had spent some time in this town, he had been protecting these people and helping these people out, and he asked the Lord, should I, fight and protect them, or are they going to, you know what I'm saying, hand me over? And the Lord like, man, they're going to hand you over. Soon as Saul get here, they're going to hand you over. So David left. You know what I'm saying? We know he wanted to know if he needed to risk putting his life at risk to protect these people. You know what I'm saying? Was it really worth it? There was another situation where he did something that wasn't worth it. You know, he protected this guy named, I think his name was Nabal. This rich guy, you know, he had flocks out there, and David's men kept people from messing with his flocks and messing with his workers, that he basically protected his workers. And David figured, well, since I took care of this dude, now he got his money coming in, he's going to take care of him, and dude wouldn't do it. And David was getting ready to go kill him. You know what I'm saying? And then the guy's wife came and stopped David. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, but David was basically like, man, all this effort I put into keeping this dude safe and keeping his flock safe, and this how you going to pay me, man? It was wasted effort. You know what I'm saying? He felt it was wasted. And then, like I said, so he was on his way to kill this dude, and the dude's wife ended up coming and stopping David. You know, she gave a little speech and stopped David from doing it. And David actually thanked her. He like, man, I was about to mess up because I was about to take vengeance in my own hand, kind of thing. And when the wife went back and told what she did and how she stopped David, dude ended up dying of a stroke, and David ended up marrying his wife. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he got a wife out of it. He didn't get all the supplies and stuff that he thought he would get from the guy, but he did get him a wife out of the situation. And I'm pretty sure with the wife, all the inheritance, unless she had kids or something, they got the inheritance, they came with them. They don't specify that in the Bible. But my point was, David, he asked, you know what I'm saying, he put effort into that dude. He didn't ask the Lord about it, and it ended up being wasted effort. And there's a lot of things in this world that will distract you. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? I know sometimes my preacher, he get caught up on politics. You know what I'm saying? He talks about it. He gets frustrated about politics and politicians. And you know what I'm saying? And it don't bother me, but it does bother some people. I've heard people, that come to the church before and wouldn't come no more because they like, well, I want to hear politics, kind of thing. So it's a lot of things out here that demands your attention. That can then take your attention away from doing what you really supposed to be doing. So if you having a problem deciphering what you should be doing, what you should be putting your energy into, ask for help. Lord, show me if this cause is worth fighting for. You remember, in fact, another one with David I just thought about. I didn't write down. When he was, again, because I brought up David and Goliath earlier. You remember when he was getting ready to go fight the Goliath, and he was asking about it, inquiring about, did the king say this, the king say that? And his brother saw him and got upset, and his brother kind of tried to play him. He's like, man, why don't you go back and watch your little sheep? What you out here doing? And then David asked him, is there not a cause? Is there not, this Philistine is coming out twice a day, morning and night, disrespecting my God. Is there not a cause to fight for the honor of God? If there's not a cause for me to be doing, to go fight this dude? And he wasn't even in the army. The people that was actually in the army wasn't doing nothing. David wasn't even in the army. He was just supposed to be delivering supplies. And he saw a cause. And he knew it was a worthy cause because it was going to bring honor and glory to God. And that's what he told the dude. He said, I'm a kid, like I said earlier. He said, you come to me with the spears and the javelins and the sword. I'm going to come to you in the power of the Lord. And people going to know today that there is a God in Israel. You know what I'm saying? It was for the glory of the Lord. So if you having problem deciphering what to put your time and energy into, again, make sure you ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you if whatever this cause is that has come upon your plate, that you want to put your time and energy to, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Ask the Lord. Another one. Let's say your cause is worthy. You know what I'm saying? Let's say your cause is worthy. And once you get into it, it's a lot more detail, it's a lot more involved than what you thought. I remember this one time, and this is not said it was a worthy cause, but I remember one time there was this guy, he asked me to coach, help him coach junior pro football, volunteer to do junior pro football. And I always wanted to be a coach. Like, you know what? That'd be cool. I never coached before. And I only did that 1 year. I did not realize how my respect, my hat goes off to football coaches, whatever league, man, those coaches, they spend, if they doing it the right way, man, they spend a tremendous amount of time trying to mentor and teach those kids, man. And I didn't realize how deep it was, you know what I'm saying, how deeply involved I would have to be a coach. And that's why I only did it 1 year and never done it again, because I don't have that kind of time. So I should have asked the Lord, you know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, let's say you do ask the Lord, and he say, yes, the cause is worthy, but, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot more involved than you thought. It's taking a lot more of your time and energy than you thought. You know what I'm saying? Then guess what? If it gets hard to remain faithful to it, ask the Lord for help. Ask the Lord for help. Ask the Lord to help you with your faithfulness. We see that over in Psalms chapter 27, verse 4. Ask the Lord to help you remain. Lord, you know what I'm saying? You gave me this cause. You said it was a worthy cause, but man, I'm having a hard time. I'd be like that with this Lost Sheep ministry. I'm telling y'all, I told y'all before. Sometimes I want to throw my hand, especially working these two jobs. Boy, it's rough. Like I said, I had the actual meeting this week, and then I got this. That's why one of the reasons I didn't make it Monday, I had so much to do last week from work, because I had to take a little trip that I wasn't planning on, and it put me behind a few days, and I had to get caught back up. So it was just too rough. That's why I didn't make it Monday. I'm here with y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying? So it gets rough, man. It gets hard, and sometimes you want to give up. You know what I'm saying? But when you get in those situations, just ask the Lord for help. Lord, I know this cause is worthy. You've shown me it's worthy, and you show me this is what you have for me to do. Help me remain faithful. And you go to Psalms 27:4. Like I said, I can't quote the verse right now, but write it down as a reference verse. It'll help you. And you know what I'm saying? It's be a situation where somebody was asking the Lord to help them remain faithful to the work. Again, you don't have to carry these burdens alone. The Lord is there with you. He wants you to be successful. So ask for the help. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he showed you, maybe you're down in the valley. You know what I'm saying? You're depressed because you feel like your life has no meaning. You know what I'm saying? You're down in the valley. And I come across a lot, especially these days, because we got so far away from God and God's will, and we want to live the way we want to live and do what we want to do. So, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when we living for ourselves and not living for God, you get depressed. What's going on, Justin? Appreciate you making it in here, bro. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm glad you're here, bro. Appreciate you being here. But again, so maybe you in that situation. I can't tell you how many people I know that's on anxiety medicines and they got to take all these antidepressants and all that stuff. And a lot of them just because they feel they don't have no purpose for their life. Their life is purposeless. Is that the right word? I think I'm saying it wrong. It has no purpose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why they don't feel purposeful. I guess this is what I should say. So if you're in this situation and you're down in the dumps, you're down in the valley, you're depressed, your life is just meaningless. Like I said, before I asked the Lord to save myself, before I gave my life to God, I felt the same way. I had those moments where I was like, man, why am I even alive? You know what I'm saying? What is the purpose of my life? Because I was living for myself. I wasn't living for God. I was living for myself. So if you get in those situations, guess what? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you his purpose for your life. You know what I'm saying? What is his will for your life? You will never be successful. You will never be able to fully enjoy this life. You'll never be able to fully have the joy of the Lord in your heart unless you find his will for your life and live his will for your life. Do what you can to live his will for your life. The moment I decided almost 20 years ago when I made the decision to give my whole heart to God and live my life for him and not myself, my whole life changed. My whole attitude changed. My whole desire, all my desires changed. Everything about me changed. And I can honestly say I haven't had a bad day since. Now, that don't mean I had a day with some stuff that was messed up. I ain't going to say that. But I can't really say I had a bad day because even when problems came in, because I was in the will of the Lord, it always worked out. That's why my verse is Romans 8:28. All things work together for good. You see what I'm saying? So if you get that, ask the Lord to show you his purpose for your life. You know, so we see that happen over in Exodus chapter 5, verses 22 and 23, and then also in chapter 6 and verse 1. You know what I'm saying? Ask the Lord to show you his purpose for your purpose for his life. And then once you do that, I guarantee you it'll help pull you out of that valley that you're in. And it'll help you get to that mountaintop because he showed you. Because a lot of times we feel that our life is worthless and we have no purpose because that's what this world teaches. You ain't got a certain amount of money, you ain't got a certain amount of status, you ain't got a certain kind of car, kind of house, then you're nothing. And that's so far from the truth that it ain't even funny. Everybody has a purpose. So if you get in that valley, ask the Lord to show you his purpose. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you his purpose for your life, and that'll help you come out of that valley. And then maybe he showed you his purpose. You know, there's another situation. Like I said, all these little scenarios I went through, maybe he'll show you his purpose. He did show you his purpose, but you don't feel that you're equipped to the task. You don't feel like you're good enough to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord for the understanding to do the work that he has for you to do. We see that on 2 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 6 through 12. Ask for help. You know, I think about when Solomon became king. You remember he was young. You know what I'm saying? He was young and he was tender. David, he came behind David. Oh my goodness, who wanted to come behind a guy the Lord has said is after his own heart? You know what I'm saying? That's a hard task, some big shoes to fill. You know what I'm saying? And Solomon felt inadequate about it. And what happened when the Lord came to him in a dream that night and said, hey, you know what I'm saying? I've heard your prayer, because he prayed. He made this huge sacrifice, prayed to the Lord. And then when he went to bed, the Lord came to him in a dream. And he said, no, I've heard your sacrifice. I've heard your prayer. So I tell you won't give me, I tell you what, I grant you any wish, basically. Anything you want, I give it to you. And what did Saul ask for? Lord, all I want is the wisdom and the understanding to be able to lead your people. These are your people. I want to be able to lead your people. Give me the wisdom and understanding to lead your people. And what the Lord say? Man, basically God like, man, that's an excellent answer. You know what I'm saying? He said, because you didn't ask for the death of your enemies or riches or status and none of that. He said, I'm going to give you all those things and I'm going to give you the wisdom that you asked for. And Solomon ended up being the wisest king there ever was. You know what I'm saying? He got a little dumb to the end of his life because he had 1,000 wives and they led him astray. But he knew, he understood the task that was ahead was a great task. He understood he couldn't do it by himself, so he asked for help. He asked God to give him the wisdom he needed to do that purpose. God showed him the purpose, and it was a big purpose. I do the same thing with this Lost Sheep ministry, man. This is a big task. This is a monumental task. You know what I'm saying? To being able to go out and, it's one thing to teach in the church for people that come to church and they trying to have a relationship with the Lord, but it's a whole nother ball game when you going to people that ain't even thinking about God. They ain't trying to live for God. They ain't lived for God, have been in church in years, and you try to convince them to turn their life around and give it to God. That's a monumental task. So that's why y'all know when I do these videos. Matter of fact, if you go back to the prayer, if you rewind the video back to the beginning, go back to the prayer. If you notice in my prayers, I always ask, send your spirit down upon me to guide these people in the right direction. What am I doing? I'm asking for help. I'm asking for God's strength. I'm asking for His Spirit. I'm asking for His wisdom when I'm putting these lessons together. Why? Because I know I can't do this without Him. So if you get in that situation, ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Another one that I come across all the time. You know what I'm saying? This is something that just about everybody has faced at some point or another. Maybe you're having some health issues. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you went to the doctor and got some tests ran and the doctor got the results back and they said, man, it ain't looking good. You know what I'm saying? When you get those results, ask for help. Ask for some help. Ask God for some healing. You're saying he is the Jehovah Rapha, the God that heals. He has the power to heal. You know that one touch from His hand can heal you. Ask Him for help. Don't just sit there and suffer because of it. Ask for help. You see that over in the benefits of that. If you go over to 2 Chronicles chapter 16 verses 12 and 13, and also Kings chapter 20 verses 1 through 6. Ask for help. There was a situation where King Hezekiah, you know what I'm saying, the Isaiah came to him and said, man, you about to die. I think he had a disease of his foot or something like that, or a boil. It was something he had, but it was like death. It was a death wound. It was mortal. And you know, and as Isaiah told him, man, you know, you about to die. You about to die, homie. Get your affairs in order. You about to die. And what did dude do? He didn't freak out. He didn't go try to get some doctor, some high price doctor. He said he just turned his face to the wall and said, Lord, remember me. You know what I'm saying? He just took it to God and he asked for help. And what happened? Before Isaiah even left, he said he came back. No, was it Isaiah that was telling him? I think it was Isaiah. I hope I didn't get the prophets mixed up. I'm pretty sure it was Isaiah. But he said before he even got out the king's courtyard, the Lord told him, hey, go back and tell him that because, you know what I'm saying, he turned his heart to me and he was humble and, you know what I'm saying, he humbled himself and turned his heart to me, that I'm going to give him 15 more years. See what I'm saying? The dude didn't know, the prophet just told him he was about to die. And then he came back and told him, no, not only you not going to go die, you got 15 more years. Why? Because he asked for help. He asked God for help. And that's what we got to do, man. We got to get out of this mindset, this attitude of just getting it on our own, doing it on our own strength. Man, God wants to help us. He wants us to be successful. He wants to give us these things. But like I said earlier, He's not going to force it on you. You got to ask Him. But if you ask Him for help, He will give you the help. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got people hating on you. This is another situation we fall into. All these scenarios, I'm telling y'all these scenarios that we fall through. And that's why I'm going through these, because we don't realize that God can help us with these situations. That's why I wanted to go through these little scenarios. I only got a few more left and then we'll be done. But you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some people hating on you in the background. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the ones that you're close to, your family, because those are the ones that can hurt you the most. Maybe the ones that's supposed to be helping you are actually the ones that's hurting you. You know what I'm saying? If you're in that situation, then guess what? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you who your enemies are. Ask the Lord to show you who your enemies are, who's your real enemies, and who's your true friends. Ask the Lord to give you the discretion to know between the two. Ask the Lord for help. That's important. He will do so. We see that happen over in 1 Samuel chapter 23, verses 6 through 12. Ask the Lord for help. Don't just go and try to figure out, context clue, playing private eye. Just ask the Lord, show me. Show me that these people that hate on me. Show me where this hatred is coming from. Show me the people that don't really have my best intentions at heart so I can steer clear of them. Show me, Lord. Ask the Lord for help. Stop trying to figure it out on your own. Stop trying to wonder who's hating on you. Why all your business comes to getting out in the streets? It got to be somebody close to you because you didn't tell too many people that. You know what I'm saying? Ask which ones. Ask the Lord to reveal it to you. Ask Him to show you who your enemies are. Ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. Or maybe you're in a situation where, and like I said, and this is more life, you've been taking some L's lately. You've been having some losses. You know what I'm saying? Your family ain't going right. Your finances ain't going right. Your car breaking down on you. You don't have a car. You're taking some L's. There's some L's coming, and you just really want to win. You know what I'm saying? You just really need a win. Like you've been taking so many L's that you need you a W. Guess what? Ask for help. If you're in that situation, you need to get you a W. Ask for help. Ask the Lord to show you how to get the victory. If you ask the Lord to show you how to get the victory, you take it to the Lord, He will show you how to get the victory. Again, all these things that you're actually is for the benefit of His kingdom. But if you're going to benefit His kingdom, He will help you get that W. Ask for help. You know what I'm saying? We see that over in 2 Samuel chapter 5, verses 17 through 20, and then also in verses 22 through 25, same chapter, where we see somebody was taking some L's and they asked the Lord for help. They asked the Lord for help, and the Lord helped them out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you got some kids that may be going astray. You know what I'm saying? You raised them up in the way they should go, but they still don't seem to be going that right way. You know what I'm saying? You did what Proverbs said, and it still don't seem to be helping. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's your wife or somebody that's really close to you that seem to be going astray or going down a path of destruction they don't need to be going through. They done did some things. They done turned their back on God. You done raised them up to love the Lord, and they done turned their back on God. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you in that situation. Well, if you're in that situation, guess what you need to do? Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask the Lord for forgiveness on the behalf of others. Lord, they don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? We see that over in Job chapter 1, verses 4 and 5. You know what I'm saying? And we also see it over in Numbers chapter 14, 1 through 20. Ask for help. Ask for forgiveness on the behalf of others. You know what I'm saying? That was something I picked up from Job, and that I started doing when I read this book of Job. When he was praying, he was like, Lord, you know what I'm saying? Maybe my kids have cursed you in their heart. You know what I'm saying? Please forgive them. He was making sacrifices for his kids. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they did some stuff they weren't supposed to be doing. They went out drinking and did something they weren't supposed to be doing. Lord, please forgive them. And we saw over in Numbers where the Israelites was mumbling and complaining, and the Lord finally got tired of them. He was going to wipe them out. What did Moses do? He went on their behalf. Lord, please forgive them. Don't take them out. Think about your namesake. What if you take them out, and then all the people, the people that they saw your mighty power, they say that you weak and you couldn't take care of them, and that's why you took them out. You know what I'm saying? Ask for some help. And that's what we got to do, y'all. We got to stop trying to take on these God problems ourselves and ask for help. And that's what Job did. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. Ask for forgiveness on the behalf of others, Lord. And I do it with my kids, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Especially my kids that had their little knucklehead phase. Lord, please be with them. Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? If they curse you in their heart, please forgive them. Have mercy on them. You know what I'm saying? Show them the error of their ways and bring them back into the fold before it's too late. Ask for help, y'all. Stop trying to do it all on your own. Another situation, you know what I'm saying? When you want to, you have a desire to share this gospel and you want to spread this word. You know what I'm saying? You want to build this kingdom. You want to do everything you can. Like I said, that's my desire, to spread the gospel. My desire is to turn the hearts of this world back to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? If that's your desire, you really want to get in there and be that soldier that put God's word out there and try to do the work to bring the people back to him, then guess what you need to do? You need to be asking for help. You need to be asking for help. Ask for the Holy Spirit fullness. You know, we saw that when we read in Luke earlier. In Luke, what he said in the last part of Luke in verses 11 through 13, I'm going to reread that. He said, you fathers, if your children ask for a fish, do you give them a snake instead? Or if they ask for an egg, do you give them a scorpion? Of course not. And if you sinful people know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give the Holy Spirit to those who ask for him? And you're not going to do no work outside of if the Holy Spirit ain't with you, you're not going to do no work. That's the one thing I learned. Y'all heard me tell the story before. The first day when I really became an effective soul winner, I had to realize it's the Holy Spirit working on people's heart that would get people saved and not me. The moment I realized that down in Nashville, man, my stroll went and took off. And since that day, I've led, like I said, by the grace of God and by the Holy Spirit's power, I've led almost 600 people to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And you notice again, you know what I'm saying? Every time I start these sermons, y'all know before I do this lesson, y'all can check this yourself. Before I do these lessons, before I sit down here and start running my mouth, what I always do, Lord, Spirit, guide us in the right direction. Give me the words I need to say. Give me the wisdom I need to say to help these people here tonight. What did I do? I ask for help. And that's what we got to do. If you want to be effective, like I said, if you want to be an effective Christian, you want to be in the Lord's army, then you're going to have to ask for help. 2 more, y'all, then we'll be done. 2 more little scenarios. And like I said, these are just little scenarios that I've been in before. So I know y'all have dealt with them before. And I've been in these situations and I never did think to ask for help. And I'm hoping y'all can avoid that same travesty that I did and have to suffer for needlessly just because of our pride. Ask for help. Another situation. Let's say when you need a pick me up. You know what I'm saying? You're going and you're doing the work and you know what I'm saying? And you just need a little encouragement because you're getting down. You're doing all this work and you don't necessarily know that if it's going to be effective. I know I have those moments. I work my butt off and I put these lessons together and I get 2 or 3 people that watch them. You know what I'm saying? Should I keep going? I need a little encouragement. If you get to that situation where you're just feeling down, you don't know if you need to keep going and you want to stay faithful, but you can't, but you just need a little encouragement. And guess what? Ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. Ask the Lord to just give you a little reminder of just how great he is. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little reminder how great he is. Ask the Lord to show you his glory. You know what I'm saying? I admire Moses. Moses did that over in Exodus chapter 33, verses 12 through 18. You know what I'm saying? The Lord was telling Moses all these great things he was going to do and how he was his friend and everything. And Moses like, well, Lord, if I've truly pleased you, if I really, satisfy you, if I really done the things that you have me to do, you know what I'm saying? Let me see your glory. Show me your glory. And the Lord told him like, well, you can't see my face here, but I tell you what I do. I put you in the cleft of a rock, and I put my hand over the cliff, and then, you know what I'm saying, as I pass by, and then as I'm, passing by, I take my hand off, and you can, see my hinder parts. I always laugh, like, what if God had on like a robe with his booty out? I don't know why I always think of that when I see that scene, because he said you can see my hinder parts. You know what I'm saying? And, Moses look out and see God's butt cheeks or something like that. And I don't know, maybe God's funny, got a sense of humor like me, I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? But he did, what did he do? He needed some encouragement. He was constantly trying to lead these people. They was always murmuring behind his back. They was always talking about stoning him. They was always talking about going back to Egypt. They was always rejecting his advice. They wouldn't do what he said do. So he just needed a little encouragement. Like, Lord, if I'm really your God, like you say I am, just let me see your glory. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. He needed that. He needed to see God's glory so he can get that pick me up to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you got, the kind of thing you got to do if you're going to keep on being an effective Christian in this army. Last situation, Lord, y'all, and I know this one all of us has been in. Like I said, this one just happened to me today. But when I was putting this lesson together, this one just happened to me today. You know what I'm saying? Let's say you're broke. You know what I'm saying? Your bills are piling up. Your gas is low. Your car's broke down. Your fridge is empty. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got the money in your bank account. The bank account is negative. If you're in a bad situation where you ain't got no money and you need somebody to provide for you, ask for help. Ask for help. Don't just sit there and be broke. We serve it. If you really love the Lord, you really believe in the Lord, you really serve God. What it said by God? He said he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. The place where he lives, the streets are made of gold. The gates are made of pearl. The walls are made of jasper. Ask for help. Don't sit there and go through that on your own. You know what I'm saying? The Lord will ask the Lord to provide. What is it? Jehovah Jireh. You know what I'm saying? When Abraham was about to sacrifice his son. You know what I'm saying? And he would get ready to do it, and had the knife up, get ready to plunge it down. And the Lord said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" You know what I'm saying? Don't kill your son. I see you not keeping anything from you. There's a goat over there in the bushes. Kill him instead. And what did he say? Jehovah Jireh, the Lord provides. If you really believe that, man, ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. One of my favorite prayers in the Bible, and I didn't mark it, but it's over in Proverbs. I can find Proverbs really pretty easy. I think this is one of my favorite prayers of the Bible. And every time I read it, it's so deep. This guy, he's asking for help. He's in a situation where God is, for Proverbs chapter 30, verses 7 through 9. I never really hear anybody preach on it. I probably need to do a sermon on it myself, but it's one of my favorite prayers in the Bible. Guess what this guy asked for? This is the guy, he asking God for some help. It's called, the title of it is The Sayings of Agar. And it's verses, chapter 30, verses 7 through 9. And he says this, he said, "Oh God," here you go right here. He said, "Oh God, I beg two favors from you before I die. First, help me never to tell a lie. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. Give me just enough to satisfy my needs. For if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' And if I am too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name." Oh, y'all, that is deep. Do y'all not? Somebody stole my tissue out of here. Do y'all not know how? There you go. I'm sorry, I gotta blow my nose. I don't know what's going on. I hope I'm not getting sick. I hope they don't sound too disgusting in the camera. Make sure I ain't got no boogies on my nose. Oh, but man, that is deep. Lord, just keep me from telling lies and give me just enough. Give me enough. Don't make me rich, but don't make me poor neither. Because if I'm rich, I might get cocky and forget about you and depend on myself. But if I'm poor, I might steal or sell some dope or do something I ain't supposed to do that's going to insult you. Oh, that's powerful. I think I'm going to have to do. I'm going to put a sermon together on that. But you know what I'm saying? Call it just enough. Give me just enough. And that's what be just enough so I can be content. You know what I'm saying? But what was he doing? He was asking for help. Lord, help me. Help me stay faithful to you. Help me not forget you. Help me not get too prideful. You know what I'm saying? But also help me not disrespect you. but help me. I need money. I need to provide, be able to provide for my family. I need to be able to provide for myself, and I'm gonna need your help. And that's what he did. He asked for help. So y'all see, those are the kind of things that, you know what I'm saying, we need to be asking God for. Because if you ask God for any of those kind of actual help and those things are not only benefit you, it's going to benefit him as well, because you're going to be able to glorify him when he answers those prayers and he send those things for you. He send you those needs to you. You know what I'm saying? Ask for help. Because see, all those things that I just talked about, and the reason why I went through them, because those are God problems. Like I said, I've been in those situations. Every single one of those situations, I've been in those situations at some point in my life, and I tried to handle myself. And it wasn't until I started asking God to help me with these problems that those problems started taking care of themselves. So if you're in a situation, man, I don't care how dire it seems, I don't care how bad it is, I don't care how good it is. If you need some help, if it's not going the way you hoped it would go, if it's not going the way you need to do, just ask for some help. You know what I'm saying? But again, when you do ask, make sure it's for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? And importantly, make sure that when you ask in faith. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be asking or asking just so you can say you ask. Make sure when you ask in faith. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna end it with James. There's a verse over in James. I'm gonna end it with that. Going back over to James chapter 1, verses 5 through 8. He talks about, you know, when you pray in faith. In verse 5 through 8, he says this. He said, if you need wisdom, if you want to know what God wants you to do, ask him, and he will gladly tell you. See, I could have used that verse. I forgot. I could have used it in one of my other points, the other point I had. But anyway, he said, he would not resent your asking. But when you ask him, be sure that you really expect him to answer. For a doubtful man is unsettled as a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. People like that should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. They can't make up their minds. They waver back and forth in everything they do. And of course, that's the more famous version of that, is where he say a double mind is unstable in all his ways. You know what I'm saying? So when you ask, don't just ask just to say you asked them. So if, you know what I'm saying, if it don't come true, you're like, well, I asked God and it didn't come true. No, ask them in faith. Ask him because you believe, you know he can make it happen, and you believe he's going to make it happen because you asked him in faith. So again, when you ask for the right reasons and you ask in faith, I guarantee you will receive, especially if it's for the glory of God. So point number 9, I end by saying this: make sure you're asking for help. No, whatever the situation is, no matter how bad the situation is, no matter how good the situation is, no matter how long the situation is, how short the situation is, at some point you're going to be in a situation where you're going to need help, and you make sure you ask the Lord for help. If you do so, it'll help you be an effective soldier in this army. So that's it, y'all. I guess I just got my regular time. I didn't go too long, but I still got my regular time right at the hour and a half. I thank y'all for being here tonight. Like I said, I know it's not my normal night. I feel my people being here. I appreciate y'all for being here. And I hope this lesson helped you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I know all of us are going through something right now. And we're doing our best to handle on our own. And like I said, it might not be meant for us to handle on our own. It's God just sitting there waiting for us to ask. And the moment he asks, I guarantee you, bam, he's going to be right on it. As long as, like I said, you ask him for the right reason, and it's going to be the best, especially if it's going to it's for the first of all, the right motives, the right reason, and definitely if it's the benefit of his kingdom, he would answer those prayers. So that being said, going to do my end of the announcement, get out of here, y'all. Of course, if there's anything in particular y'all want me to cover, that I never get anybody that be like, hey, Brother John, cover this. So, if you got something on your heart that you just really need to hear about, you want to do a lesson on, you want me to share a lesson about it, please reach out to me, inbox me, and let me know. I'll work it into my lesson plans. As of right now, nobody hit me up. I'll be back Monday. Hopefully, I get back on schedule Monday. I apologize about getting off schedule, but hopefully Monday I'll be back on schedule. And if so, I'll bring out another lesson this Monday at 7 o'clock, Lord willing, and we're going to try to finish up this book of 1 Samuel chapter 13. As always, share the videos, tell other people about the videos. You know what I'm saying? Tag people in videos. If it's something that touched your heart and you think it helps somebody else, let them know, man. All my stuff is always public. I don't make it private. I want it to be for everybody, and I appreciate y'all that have been doing it so far, and I ask y'all to just continue to do so we can help this ministry grow. And of course, as always, if you're not sure about your salvation, reach out, man. Ask for help. Like I said earlier, ask for help. If you're not 100% sure when you go through the door called death, you're going to get to see Jesus on the other side. Just reach out to me and let me know. Inbox me. Whatever you got to do, let me know. And I will do everything I can get some. But I will set up some time and do everything I can to help you understand the gospel, share the gospel with you, so you can make the decision before it's too late. And if you need any kind of spiritual counseling, you want to talk about the Bible, want to pray together, whatever you need, I have a couple of people that do that from time to time. Reach out for me for prayer and things of that nature. But if you got any kind of spiritual counseling or something, again, ask for help. Hit me up. Let me know. I will schedule some time. Like, my schedule is pretty packed, I ain't gonna lie. But I will schedule some time as soon as I have some time available to give you a call, and we can sit down and talk about whatever it is your heart's desire. And as always, if you want to catch some of my old sermons, this is where you go. It's easier to go here. You can go on my Facebook page, and scroll up and down it as well. But it's the easiest way to do it is to go to my YouTube page, God's Servant / Lost Sheep Ministries. Look up the videos. All the titles are usually there. The topics that we're talking about, go there and look up the old videos, and that way you can enjoy them for your viewing pleasure. So with that, man, I thank y'all again for joining me tonight. It's not my usual night, but my faithful ones, y'all are still here. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I hope this lesson was able to help y'all. And like I said, if you're going through some stuff, the main idea tonight, the key thing tonight to take away is, man, if you're going through something, don't go through it alone. You don't have to go through it alone. Make sure you ask for help. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pray and get out of here. Dear Lord and Father, thank you so much for watching over us today. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come here to share your gospel again tonight, Lord. Thank you for all the ones that came in to hear your word today, even though it ain't my normal time. And it's a Friday night. That's another thing. Friday night, most of the time, people be out partying and doing their thing. But they here with me, Lord, to hear your word. And I thank you. Thank you for letting your spirit come upon my heart to give me the lesson and helping me put this lesson together, Lord. And I just thank you for all that you've done, the Holy Spirit has done for me in my life, and helping me to now do the same for others, Lord. So, Lord, I pray that these words that were spoken here tonight will touch the hearts of those that watch these videos, Lord, and bring them under conviction. And if they out here in this world trying to hustle and get it by themselves and not depending on you enough, Lord, help them see it. Bring them under conviction, open their eyes so they can see that they can get out of these situations they're in. They can deal with these problems they're in. They can deal with these trauma they're in if they just be willing to put their pride aside and ask for help, Lord. Give them the willingness to do so. Give them the wisdom to do so and the discernment they need to do so. And just continue to help your people come to know you better and get closer to you. Continue to watch over this ministry, Lord. Continue to help it grow, prosper, reach out to the community, change the lives of others, and capture lost souls of men. And just be with this family, this ministry, my ministry members in a mighty way. Continue to give us the encouragement, enthusiasm we need to continue to go forth and continue to use this ministry in mighty ways to do our part, to honor and glorify your name, actually build your kingdom and turn the hearts of this world back to you. Keep your hand upon all those that are sick, Lord. You are the Jehovah Rapha, the God that heals. Just keep your healing hands upon them so they may make it through these ailments they're going through, Lord, and just continue to provide for your people. You know, a lot of us are struggling, especially these prices and these taxes and it's just the craziness that's going on, Lord. You gave me a financial blessing this week, and I really appreciate it. And I pray you just be with your people, continue to provide for them. And I just pray for the day, Lord, that this can be a day that the world as a whole, we will humble ourselves, pray, seek your face and turn from our wicked ways so you may hear from heaven, forgive our sins and heal our land. Continue to use me in a mighty way, Lord. Continue to let your spirit work through me and guide my steps in my heart and my mind so I can get everything done I need to get done to get everywhere we need to be according to your will and grace for our lives. Thank you so much. Ask you to watch over us and keep us safe and protected as we rest up tonight. Help us get a good, peaceful, nice rest so we wake up tomorrow ready to serve your purpose and your will again, and just guide us to where we need to be so we can do the work we need to do to honor and glorify you. We love you and thank you for all you've done and given. Say this prayer in your wonderful Son, Jesus' name. Amen. So thank y'all, man, joining in with me again. It's not my normal night. I did go over a couple of minutes. I'm trying to keep it at least under an hour and a half, but I went over a couple of minutes, but I hope it was worth it. I hope this was a cause that was worth it. And if y'all want to make sure that these videos and watch these lessons worth it, pray on it. Ask for help. But I really think this is what the Lord has given me, and I'm thankful that I get to share with you. So I love you guys. Until next Monday, until this Monday coming up. So I'll see y'all in a couple of days, Lord willing, Monday night. But until then, I keep praying for y'all. Y'all keep praying for me. And remember, no matter what's going on, always watch your back and pray. I love y'all. And until next time, peace.